Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Coffee Talk Supplemental. Welcome back, guys. I thought I'd do this video because we just got the article dropped about WoT Plus. So we discussed that back on Sunday there. Back on Sunday, that was yesterday. And we noted that we didn't have all the information about WoT Plus, but we now have some more, although we don't have all of it. We'll discuss as we go. So let's take a look at this article. Wargaming has dropped. It's got a video as usual. And then it's got the text talking about all of the things. So let's go through the video and then we'll dive into the text and fill in a few of the things.
Ride the wave of heated battles with a World of Tanks Plus subscription in Update 1.20.1 and enjoy tons of epic bonuses, including a gold reserve, free equipment demounting, automatic crew training, an additional slot to exclude a map, and the main component for good battles and earning credits, the Tier 8 Premium TS-54 tank.
The main component, that was an interesting way to say that. So what has survived, apparently the gold reserve, the crew training, the exclusive vehicle, the free equipment demounting, we'll get into that in just a minute, and one excluded map. So there you go. Interesting, they're really hyping this tank here. It's got me a little concerned.
Let's get into it. This heavy American tank is good at math and knows very well that 2 is always better than 1.
Okay.
Unless we're talking about the number of SPGs in a battle. Yes.
All right, fair enough, Wargaming.
The tank has a double-barreled gun, and they're not just the brute clubs the 703 has. They're a bit more subtle in this case. The accuracy, aiming time, and stabilization are definitely not Soviet.
That's .38. That's pretty Soviet. I mean, I got you. It's not .42, but .38, that's not great. Aiming time's okay at 2. Penetration's pretty nice. Standard round at 218, and then you dab 2, you go up to 252. Okay.
Firing from a distance and aiming at weak spots isn't hard, and the penetration is enough to fight against vehicles 1 tier.
.35, it is hard. All right, yes, you can use equipment to bring it down, but that's patently false.
Higher, but
penetration's good.
Put enough alpha damage in it. 280 HP of damage per shot doesn't sound great for a Tier 8 heavy.
It feels like you, working, didn't put enough alpha in it. That's. I am gonna mock the writing on this just a little bit. I don't know who writes these things. I really wish whoever that is didn't. Anyway, what they're getting at here is balance-wise, it has a relatively low alpha of 280 because it has 2 barrels, and the 2 together is 560. But of course, they mentioned the elephant in the room, the 703, which has a lot more. Should we go down that? No, let's just ignore that for now.
However, the left gun always has its right platoon mate. Together, they can dish out 560 HP of damage.
True.
And this is a third of the durability of any Tier 8 heavy tank. This isn't just a number to flaunt. Salvo preparation time and the reloads.
I don't even know what that means. This isn't just a number to. I mean, I know what it means, but I really have no idea why you would say it that way. The point being here is, yes, it's 280. It does get 560. This thing reloads much quicker than, say, a 703. And it's something like every 10 seconds you can be shooting a salvo, which is kind of crazy, actually.
Speed of both guns allow you to cause huge damage almost on a permanent basis.
Yep, that's what we need. We definitely need tanks that are allowed to cause huge damage on a permanent basis. Yep, more autoloaders, double barrels, and auto reloaders. Yep, that's what we need.
Make sure to target a bigger weak spot so that you can squeeze in a few new holes.
This is actually pretty funny.
If an opponent decides to take revenge for the damage you've caused, you'll be.
I think the next time I face a KV-5, I'm going to try that on purpose. See if I can put 2 eyeballs on the R2-D2.
Able to strike back in just 10 seconds after the salvo.
Ooh.
And then you can challenge them to a duel. When firing in this...
What? What? Hold on, what is that? Alright, smileys. It's worth another look.
Decides to take revenge for the damage you've caused.
Okay.
You'll be able to strike back in just 10 seconds after the salvo.
Yep.
And then you can challenge them to a duel. When firing in the cyclic mode.
Challenge them to a duel. Well, you just killed the guy that went after you. Yeah, whatever.
Your damage per minute will be enough to outshoot almost all Tier 8 heavy tanks one-on-one.
That is, we're definitely missing those kinds of tanks in the game.
That's how the TS-54 fires. It shoots often, and it sometimes hits very hard. Plus, the damage is good. The more you cause, the more...
He just said the damage wasn't great. I think he means alpha. Anywho.
You earn in a battle, and not only credits.
Okay, so gold reserve made it through. That's happening.
The reserve works just like the credit reserve.
Okay.
It allows you to accumulate gold.
Yep.
It can hold a maximum of 500 gold.
A week.
Gold is credited for playing in the vehicles from Tier 4 through
So
Tier
1 through 3 doesn't
modes,
work.
except for training modes and some festive events.
Okay, that
The
makes
amount of
sense.
Gold depends on the outcome of the battle, as well as on your place on your team in the post-battle statistics.
Great.
Once per week, the gold
All right, so how do I get my 500? Here we go. Let's get them deets.
reserve will open, and all
Okay.
accumulated gold will be credited to your account.
Okay.
After that, the entire process starts over.
Okay.
Now let's get back to our Popeye.
Well, how many? You know what? Let's get into the text and check it out. Maybe down there in the text, it will tell you how this system works. Like, how much do I have to play? You know how much you have to play for the silver reserve because it's, what, 10% of the silver you make is put in there? So that makes sense. That's pretty straightforward, up to 750,000 silver. So let's go down here into the article and say, okay, oh, gold reserve, here we go. All right, guys, let's find out. How much do you have to play? How does this mechanic work? Brand new feature allows you to earn gold. Yep, as you play in random battles, including Grand, very good, as well as Onslaught and Frontline. The rest of the modes don't contribute, okay? The exact amount of gold will depend on the outcomes of the battle and certain conditions. Now we're getting somewhere. Certain additional conditions. So for random battles, you get 7 points for a win, 4 for a loss. You have to be in a tier 4. You have to be in the top 10. Grand battles, it's 7 and 4 as well, but top 20. Okay. Onslaught, only 2 for a win, 1 for a loss. Be among the top 5. Okay, why so little? Why would you get so little for Onslaught? It's the same amount of time, right? The battles, or are they only 10 minutes? But that's a lot less. It's not just half, it's a third or a quarter. Anywho, Frontline, 21 and 12. Okay, those are longer games, so that makes sense. Cool. Like the credit reserve, it will open automatically every week, even if your WoT Plus subscription ended that week. Okay, fair enough. I like that. Every week you can accumulate up to 500 in your gold reserve. It's a game where the numbers are made up and the results don't matter. There is no indication, my friends, here of how many of said points you need to get a gold piece, or 10, or 500, or finish it, or whatever. So, you want to sell somebody a product. You want to give them half of the calculation for them to make the decision on whether that product is something they want to buy. Was this an oversight? Was it on purpose? Who knows at this point, my friends. But, well, you know how many points you're going to get. You just have no effing idea how many you need. All right, let's go back to the video. I love this.
All right. Friend who hasn't gotten far.
Our pop-eyed friend? What does that mean?
By the way, And not because it doesn't want to, it's because of its engine. The tank accelerates and rolls like a typical heavy. You need to select a direction at the start of battle and push it to the end. This hasn't gotten far.
Let's look at this and just, this is part of the writing. He hasn't gotten far, by the way. Then he says that they say it's basically the maneuverability of a heavy. 40's not bad actually for a heavy, not bad at all. And then the rest of the verbiage here.
By the way, and not because it doesn't want to, it's because of its engine. The tank accelerates and rolls like a typical heavy. You need to select a direction at the start of.
Wait, what was it keeping up with right there?
It's because of its engine. The tank
AMX.
accelerates and rolls like a typical heavy. You need to select a direction at the start of battle and push it to the end.
No, you don't. You don't need. You don't. You don't. You don't need to select one direction and just push that to the end. You... Yes, you need to get to a flank if it's a relatively slow tank, but... Oh my gosh. All right.
This nuance makes it obvious that the tank is allergic to big open maps.
Oh, please don't tell people that. Don't. Why did you say that? Every new player watching this, like, oh, this tank is allergic to big open maps. I need to find a bush or hide in the back because I'm allergic.
And there are plenty of those in the game.
This tank is allergic to a bunch of our maps. That is a great selling point. Well played on that one. The good news is that you can reduce their number.
That you can reduce their number with the help of a World of Tanks Plus subscription.
So basically, we have a lot of maps that our new tank is going to be crappy on. But good news for you is if you spend X number of dollars a month, we'll be able to block yet another one, so you so you can manage your brand new pay for tanks allergies for certain maps. This is, look, man. How does this kind of thing get through? All right.
World of Tanks Premium account currently allows you to exclude 2 maps. A World of Tanks Plus subscription will expand this opportunity.
So interesting to me that they bring that up. I mean, if you were just a casual observer to this, maybe you haven't been a gamer or something and you were watching this video and you just decided to play World of Tanks. You're like, all right, what are my options here? You watch this video and they go, a World of Tanks Premium lets you block 2. A WoT Plus subscription allows you to, and you got to be going, premium and a subscription. Why do I need both of these to play your game? Oh man, all right.
Allowing for the exclusion of 1 additional map. That's 3 in total. But whichever map you're on, whichever direction you choose, there will always be an opponent in your way.
Until you've killed all of them. Then there won't be any more opponents in your way. See, they're just like I said, they are really focusing on this tank. Excuse me.
Time to measure the armor. The upper glacis can withstand hits from Tier 8 tanks, but only at medium range. Its sides are purely American. You can side scrape with them at a sharp angle, but don't get too bold. Just turn it a bit more and you'll be short of hit points and a track. If it's necessary to block a shot from behind a corner, use the lower glacis. Yes, you heard that right. There's nothing supernatural about it. Just turn your front and bait the enemy for a shot without showing the front wheel. Tread a fine line and keep your tracks safe.
That's actually a really interesting and kind of true, not a kind of true, very true tactic right there. Enough angle that it's auto bounce, but don't show them the front wheel so they can't get into the side of the armor. That's kind of interesting. They just sort of tucked that in there. All right.
Thanks to its frontal turret, the TS-54 can eat...
And actually, it's specifically good for tanks like that that have a flat front lower glacis. That's just flat and doesn't have any undulations or curvature, because curvature can actually work against you in that case if they hit the near side that's more flat plate. All right. So the turret's probably pretty
This will
good.
withstand hits from higher tier tanks, and it does so especially well on irregular terrain. -8 degrees of gun depression entice you to occupy some uneven spot and methodically dismantle your opponents. However, there are still weak spots in the turret, its small cupola and ears. The key word here is small.
Oh, that is a bummer. So those ears are hitboxes. Oh my gosh! Look, and look, they don't even go into the turret. They're actually protuberances sticking out. Ooh, that is bad. That is really bad. That's not a player. These are where you're going to collect shots for sure. I didn't realize that those were hitboxes. That's horrible. -8's okay.
Even at close range is quite hard, especially when your enemy is waving their gun around, searching for the target.
That dude is not waving his gun around searching for the target. He's not trying to figure out which bird to shoot. He's wiggling his turret so you can't aim in on there. I was about to say, this is another fantastic little tactical tidbit here, and then they say that. That's not what he's doing. He's moving his turret, trying to throw off your shot into his weak spot. He has to, because he's got two big shoot me, F me points right here on his turret. He's looking for a shot. I hope those birds are looking out, because he's about to take them out. All right.
You'll see it and just go into dancer mode.
Oh, there you go. So now he's talking about... Oh.
So as you can see, the TS-54 won't let you get bored. And if your opponent gets bored while looking at you, they might have to look for a cheap workshop.
Is that actually... That's not actually there. Where'd that come from? Tape and hammer. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
The TS, however, only needs a workshop to get dressed up before battle. Improved hardening in the roll slot and turbocharger will be key for efficiency. In the third slot, you can mount the equipment item of your choosing.
So it's not going to have a rammer. It's kind of interesting. Setup, hardening, turbo. Okay.
It should be noted that if you want to demount a required equipment item from another vehicle, you can do it for free with the help of
There we go.
World of Tanks Plus subscription.
All right, here's the equipment demounting. We had a question on what made through, and
Demount standard.
it's what we
Mounting
thought.
And experimental equipment of upgrade level 1 for free, and as many times as you want. The exceptions are improved equipment that you can demount only for bombs, and experimental equipment of upgrade level 2 and 3.
Okay, so bounty equipment survived, regular equipment survived, and level 1 experimental, which I don't know why you would ever put that on anything, to be quite honest. So very interesting. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Which will still require components for demounting. Apart from equipment, the crew is also...
Just as an aside, what's going on with experimental equipment, Wargaming? What happened? What's the plan?
so very important. And you can assign an already trained crew from any American vehicle to the TS-54.
Standard.
Yes, even from artillery. There will be no penalty. For now, this is the only tank with such a feature, and with the subscription, you can train your crew even faster.
Okay, I missed that one. You can put anybody in a TS-54 from any... Okay. Wow. All right, there you go.
World of Tanks Plus allows you to earn crew XP even when you're not in the game.
Passive training.
Select the tank and apply the bonus. The XP will be credited automatically while the subscription is active.
Magical
Bonus
XP.
for one vehicle can be activated at a time, but you can switch the bonus between vehicles as many times as desired.
Okay.
The World of Tanks Plus subscription unlocks new and interesting opportunities before you. Earn gold as easily as you earn...
All right, that's enough of that mess. So, take these out so I don't have to hear that anymore. Let's take a look at the write-up really quickly. There's not a lot else to add in there. The gold reserve, as noted, we have no idea how that works other than... I mean, we have details of how many points you can get, but what's the total? What are the break points? Who the hell knows? We don't know. Intensive crew thing, that made it exclusive vehicle, obviously the new Tier 8, which you can put any kind of crew member in there. I'm assuming all they really need is the major qualification. Free equipment demounting is the big one that survived in there. They got rid of the improved, so you can't move bond equipment. My argument with that still stands. There's little difference between moving bounty equipment and bond equipment, and essentially what it comes down to, I've had a couple discussions without getting into details or names in the CC Discord, and from what I can tell, guys, to be completely honest with you, this has been a exercise in gatekeeping by the top players who don't want the unwashed masses to be able to move bond equipment around, because the general idea is that, you know, bond equipment is something that's hard to get and good players would lose an advantage. That, to be honest with you, that's exactly what it boils down to, because it's illogical in the extreme to say, well, bond equipment is the flag in the dirt that we won't, in terms of pay to win, that we can't cross, right? We can cross the pay to win with bounty equipment. You can move your bounty equipment all you want, but by golly, if we allow bond equipment to be moved, then all of a sudden it's pay to win. Okay, but there's a graduated response there that is illogical, completely illogical. So it turns into basically people not wanting the bond system, the bond economy such as it is, to be disturbed, so that the work and effort put into getting bond equipment is maintained. That's the bottom line of what's going on with that. All of the virtue signaling, and we're just looking out for the game's health and all that stuff. That's just not true. All right, excluded map. So you can do a third excluded map. So here's the question. There's two major questions, actually. Number one, you've put a article here talking about a new subscription, WoT Plus subscription service, and there's no price. Did it go down because the bond equipment's gone? Is it the same? The assumption has to be that it's the same as the previous, but you know how that goes. You know, you don't believe anything until it actually comes out. So they didn't mention the price. I don't know, again, if that was an oversight or on purpose, or what the heck the point of not saying what the price per month is. That kind of blows me away. It's possible it didn't change. Let's say it didn't change, but you also took away one of the largest draws, which was free movement of improved equipment. And I suspect if it was a conscious effort not to mention the price, that might be why. I don't know. But it seems like if one of the major draws was pulled out of the service, the price would have to go down. But there's no mention. So we'll know tomorrow on Tuesday, when it shows up in the store, how that exactly works. I'm also a bit concerned in terms of a subscription service, how that works mechanically between your payment option, etc. How easy is it to cancel? Do you pay it monthly? Do you have to set up for an automatic draw? Those are details we'll find out tomorrow. But I will say that I am, how do I put this? Not hugely interested in doing subscription services for various internet companies, because my experience is that trying to get out of it is an absolute nightmare. All right, editing magic. I was going over this and I realized I missed something important. And I babbled on for a while. Hopefully I can cut it out of there and there won't be too much of it left in the video. But, you know, that's how we do it when we're unprofessional. My concern that I was discussing that I'm going to cut out was how you subscribe and unsubscribe. Because in general, I have found that subscription services can be, with companies online, can be very difficult to unsubscribe from. I think they've got that sorted out. Also, we've got the idea of how you subscribe. It's actually at the bottom of this article, all right? So I'm glad I actually noted that was in there, and my diatribe could be taken out of there because it was incorrect. So subscribing, it's a little bit convoluted, but okay, whatever. Go to the in-game store, go to best category. I tried this. It's not there yet, so you'll be able to do that tomorrow when the patch comes out. You're going to click WoT Plus. You're going to go to purchase. You're going to review the details, add a payment method, tick the 2 checkboxes to confirm that you agree to activate, yada, yada. And then, in order to unsubscribe, seems fairly straightforward. You go to the subscriptions category, open the premium shop, and go to the subscriptions category. Now, this is different because now you're going to the premium shop on the website. It's a little different. There's a little area up top. Actually, I can probably get you there and we can take a look at it. It shows where your subscriptions are. If you go to the main page and you are correctly logged in, then you're going to go to the premium shop. Remember, you have to be logged in yourself. You won't see some of this stuff if you're not. That's tricked me a couple times because the page looks the same. You just don't have the, you can't see it because I've cut it off, but your name is up at the top right. We have a subscriptions right here. All right, so that's the one you're going to push, and then it will take you to your subscriptions. All right, so that's how you get out of that, or where you go to get out of your subscription to WoT Plus. And it goes through the rest of the things that you need to do right here. Subscriptions, hover over the card of WoT Plus, click edit, unsubscribe. Fair enough. And it says, you confirm that you want to unsubscribe. It says that you can unsubscribe anytime you want. You're just going to get that month, and it'll be active until the end of the period you've paid for. It says monthly, but my assumption is that it's a 30-day rolling window or something like that, or not a rolling window, but 30 days from when you subscribe. I'm assuming you can subscribe in the middle of the month and then get your X number of days. I don't know if maybe it goes 4 weeks, or if it's prorated. Don't know how that's going to work. We'll have to see when it comes out, but it looks to be like subscribing and unsubscribing, even though it's a little weird because you're going to subscribe through the client, you're going to unsubscribe through the website and the premium shop. There you go. And I don't know, this I'm assuming that this actually ends up opening up a web page at some point, like most of the things when you buy stuff. Add a payment method. I doubt you're putting all of that in the client, so I'm betting that at some point, there you go, taken to the premium shop. Found it. Can you go straight to the premium shop and get it? One would assume. I don't know. Maybe you have to go in-game store and go to best. All right, and what they mean right there, just beat this dead horse because it's, like I said, it's a bit convoluted. What they're talking about here is you go to store in the client, it loads for a while, and then you're at best. Best is the top one. As you can see, I've got April bundles and Battle Pass reinforcements. So when you click on this, then, for example, it will take me off eventually. All right, more editing. Weird. I'm gonna have to cut that out because it has some of my details on it, but that's why we just moved to another edit here. Apparently, maybe you can use your PayPal through the client, but you can't use the cards. If you use the cards, it goes back over to the website. I don't know, man. I'm sure you're all smart enough to figure that part out. I'm hoping you don't actually have to go through the client then to go over to the website. Hopefully the premium store itself, you'll be able to buy the subscription from there. So weird. I don't know why it's set up like that. Well, I kind of do, because you would like to be able to do as much stuff as you can in the client. So yes, they've given you some convenience of being able to see stuff, and then it will take you to the payment page. Okay, that's how it's set up. All right, back to regular scheduled programming. So I don't know, guys. I may get it for a month or so here in the near future just to see how the gold drip works, so we can get more data on that, how the whole thing works in general. But my honest opinion of WoT Plus right now is that I'm not getting it. And I very much doubt that I would run a year of it or just turn it on as a subscription service and then just pay it every month. I'm not seeing enough in there. Frankly, the tank is not a big enough draw for just the subscription service. I kind of like the bounty equipment movement stuff, but don't really need it. And I don't use the map blocking stuff. So not much there for me. There might be some stuff there for you. Let me know down in the comments. That's all I've got for today's Coffee Talk Supplemental. Took a little longer than I thought, but there was a lot going on in there. Mostly curious about what you think on the equipment changing thing. I just find that whole discussion to be fascinating. I'm not making any comments on the general equipment issues or too much in regards to which equipment is better. Obviously, the Bond equipment is better, but if you look at the percentages, it's just not that much different than a piece of bounty equipment. And yes, it is harder generally to get some Bond equipment over bounty equipment, but bounty equipment is gated by events. And the Bond equipment, you just earn the bond, so you can play tier 10. I have 34,000 in my garage right now. So I could go buy a considerable amount of Bond equipment just from playing the game. The bounty equipment is typically gated behind events. So you sort of have to wait for those to come, and then you've got to complete that event, or at least get to the bounty equipment part of the event in order to get it. So there's different ways to get it, but I wouldn't say either one of them is necessarily wide open. So I find the difference between those two in terms of what you have to do to get them to be negligible in practice. Even though the specifics are different to some extent, the difference is a distinction without a difference, in my opinion. And so differentiating between one and the other and saying, my gosh, we can't have these bond equipment pieces moving around for free, but by golly, it's perfectly fine to have the bounty equipment stuff moving around for free. I find that argument to be specious at best. Frankly, being able to move regular equipment is a huge advantage for a new player who's just starting and doesn't have the money for equipment. Pay $10 a month or whatever it's going to end up being, 11. I don't remember what the heck it was, 11.50, 11.90, whatever they said it was going to be, or whatever it will be tomorrow. You pay that, now you can have a few pieces of equipment, whereas you would have been grinding credits to get all kinds of equipment or spending money to move it, then do it for free, and now I can just move equipment all around. So even the basic equipment movement is a huge advantage, depending on your situation in the game. All right, let me know what you guys think. Put that down in the comments. That's all I've got for today. We will see ya.